Hi everyone, this is going to be a watch me work on myself. I'm going to be doing just a gel polish mani with a soak off, and I'm starting here by pushing back my cuticles with a light elegance cuticle pusher. And now I'm taking a medium carbide safety cone bit and just removing my gel polish. You can actually see here in a second that I take off a huge chunk. Actually, it's already there. I took off a huge chunk of my gel polish, and honestly, that was just because I have no control at this point because I'm recording and this is my first time filming, and I have this tripod above my workstation, and it was really hard for me to see and get used to, so it wasn't as controlled as I usually like it. So I did end up taking a chunk out of there, which thankfully I didn't go through the base, but just a warning that you want to be very, very careful and light-handed when taking off a gel polish with a carbide bit if you're using your hand e-file. So here I'm still taking off. I'm just speeding it up a little bit. So it's about double the speed, and I just wanted to go through this a little faster so that you're just not sitting here watching everything. But I'm basically trying to take off at least the top coat and going through a layer or two of the color. I do like to take off as much color as possible, even when I'm working on clients. Just because it helps soak off process a lot, and I do soak off every client. I personally prefer soaking off the entire base. I don't know, it's just a personal preference, I guess. I don't like the possibility of leaving any lifting, so when I do gel polish services, I do prefer soaking off everything. At least everything that could possibly be lifting off the nail, because as you'll see in this, I do leave some base that is stuck really hard onto the nail, but you'll see that in a minute. So yeah, just finishing up filing off on my left hand. Here is the end result there. And now I'm switching to my prepper bit. Usually I do wait until after I've soaked off to do this step, but I decided to do it now because I have my dust collector out, and I just wanted to kind of get it all done as soon as possible. When I'm working on clients, I will usually do this step after I have soaked off completely. And here I'm using my Coupa Mani Pro Passport in a forward motion and just going through the nails and using a very gentle touch. It might look like I'm going kind of hard, but I am seriously just barely touching the nail plate because I don't want to make any indentations whatsoever. And I just really prefer going light. And you'll see on this nail, I actually couldn't get all of it up, so I switched my bit into reverse, my e-file into reverse, and I e-filed it in reverse because that kind of helps sometimes if you can't get it all the way going in the forward position if you're right-handed. Of course, if you're left-handed, that would be the opposite. And I'm just finished filing off. Sometimes I do go a little bit too hard on myself, I'm not going to lie. The control is a little different doing it on yourself than it is doing clients, to be honest. So there's the finished result of a little bit of cuticle prep. And now I'm going to soak off. I do use clips. I prefer them to any other method. It's the fastest. And I just stuff them all with cotton, and the cotton is dry when I start off. This is a technique I learned from my fellow technicians, and it is really, really effective. So I'm just going to pop them on all my fingers, and then I'm going to fill it with the acetone like this. It just really locks in that acetone. I don't know what it is with this method, but it really, really works. So now it's been about 10 minutes, if that, and I'm going to just take these off one at a time and start scraping off that lifted gel. I'm going as gentle as possible here. Even if it looks a little rough, it is definitely gentle the way I'm working so that I don't take up any nail plate layers. Now I'm just speeding up the process a little bit. And after I've scraped as much as possible, I'm just going to buff any loose pieces that are still on there. And I'm going to leave any base layer that is really attached to the nail plate. When I lift up my nail there, I'm looking at the kind of the C-curve angle of the nail just to make sure everything is all even, and I will continue buffing if there is any side that is higher than the other, just so that everything is even and my base application is as perfect as possible. Here I'm just filing up my free edge because that nail had a little bit of unevenness to it, but the rest of them looked okay to me, so I'm going to leave them. And I'm just checking for that unevenness again here. And I'm spraying with 99% alcohol and brushing off all the dust with a brush. And now it's time for polishing. I am wiping my nails with 100% acetone to dehydrate them. And I'm taking my Luxio base and I'm putting my thumb out, but I'm not starting with my thumb. I'm actually starting with my pinky. It's much easier to start with the four fingers so that nothing on the thumb moves. So it's always a good thing to remember. But I'm just base polishing. And then I did cure that layer, and now I'm going in with a second base coat layer. I always double base on every single client in my gel manis. Luxio base works very well for this, and it just creates a nice stronger layer than if you were to use a normal single base, and it also helps the soak off and file off process so that you're not filing into the natural nail at all. And you'll see here I turn my thumb a little bit and add some. That's because I'm evening out my base coat, making sure my line of light is as straight as possible. I cured that, and now I'm going in with Luxio Vivacious, which is from their new Tropico collection. I did get the mini set, so I have all of the colors, and they're honestly all truly beautiful. Luxio is my favorite brand of all time. But this purple I really wanted to try because I just love purple so much, and this one has a beautiful shimmer, which is kind of rare for Luxio. They don't come out with shimmers too often, but this purple one is beautiful. It has a really, really pretty pink shimmer to it, which I love. I'm just staring at my nails all the time. It's so, so pretty. So yeah, I'm just polishing as carefully as I can here on myself. It is a little bit more difficult on myself than it is on clients, I won't lie. But yeah, just doing the best I can here. And I'm curing in my Akzentz lamp, which I love, by the way. I just got it. So here I'm taking a loose glitter. This one is from Glitter Planet UK. It's their reflex glitter, which is really, really pretty. So I just pour a little bit onto a mixing plate, which is what I use for all my nail art. It's just a ceramic tile that you can buy in the store, like a hardware store. But I'm applying a super thin layer of base coat here, putting a little bit on my plate and getting my brush wet with the base coat. And then I'm going to go into the glitter and just start tapping it lightly into that wet base layer. And I'm trying to do this as thin as possible. You can't really layer too much when you're doing a soft gel polish mani. You're going to want to keep it as thin as possible so that you can cap it and encapsulate it smoothly and without the nail being too thick. So I'm just placing the bigger chunks very, very carefully. And I'm always checking it from many angles and pushing down on the big chunks. And here you can see I'm actually picking up smaller chunks and placing them in the areas where it's a little sparse. And here I'm just checking to make sure everything's flat, pushing down any pieces that are sticking up. This is very, very important when you're encapsulating in gel polish. And here I'm still filling with the smaller pieces. I'm just trying to pick up the little small pieces and placing them in the spaces, like on my free edge and on the sides as well. Because you're going to want to push those bigger chunks away from the sidewall. So I did cure that, and now I'm going in with my second layer of my color. Sorry, I do get out of frame a couple times. I don't really mean to do that, but I'm super new to filming, so hopefully that will get better with time. But you can really see the beautiful color of this on the second coat. It's a nice light purple color. It's not too bright, which is actually what I kind of like personally. I'm more of a nude girl, to be honest. But so here now I am top coating, and I'm actually going to start with just the regular color nails. I'm taking the Luxio Gloss, which is my favorite top coat of all time. And what I'm going to do here is just top gloss the 4 purple nails. I'm just going to show you the pinky. And now I'm going to top gloss the glitter nail and encapsulate it. I'm going to apply this very thick so that it gets encapsulated all the way, and I'm making sure to cover up all the glitter pieces. And then you'll see that I look at the nail here, and I'm going to fill in any dips by just touching it lightly and adding more gel. And then I'm going to cure it as fast as possible. And you will need a flash cure it because it's going to get hot. And now I'm going to just wipe off the alcohol, or wipe off my nails with alcohol. And I'm going to feel this glitter nail. And I do feel a little bit of bumpy spot right on the corner there. So I'm going to buff it lightly. And I'm going to go over it again with another layer of top coat so that everything is smooth. And I'm really going to focus on that one spot where I felt it be bumpy. And cure. And that's the completed look. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.